My name is Karen Rocco, and I am one of 6 homeowners in the area being proposed for annexation who has not signed a real estate contract. So some people believe that we're all on board and we all came forward with this. That is not true. As city council members, I understand it is your responsibility to make decisions for the betterment of the city. With that task in mind, I urge you to consider all of the existing projects that are already on your plate. The Phase 2 Bridge project, 191 new affordable homes without an age designation attached to them, that are needed in this community and that you have already made a commitment to. The Salish Lodge expansion of 175 homes with a possible convention center going forward. The Mill Pond project and its obstacles, as well as the hotel on the ridge. I'm asking you to take pause, slow down, and take care of what is already before you. Please do not add on another project that will pile up more traffic, possibly, tax our water reserves and require additional maintenance to a city infrastructure that will cost additional money to maintain. Once the development's over, we still have to maintain this. Will the fix to the I-90 Highway 18 exchange handle the impact of all of these projects already on your plate? I will email more. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the sake of time, I just ask people to refrain from applause or boos or yays. So I appreciate your enthusiasm and passion. Paul, is it Stewart or Stuff? Paul, how do you say it?
Stewart.
Stewart.
Paul Stewart. I currently live in
Is that S-T-U-A-T?
IT.
I-T.
I currently live in Carnation. I've lived on the Snoqualmie Ridge for the last 17 years and raised my family there. And as my housing needs changed, I was looking around and Snoqualmie Ridge didn't have what I needed, so I found it in Carnation. But I consider the whole valley, my home, and love it dearly. This became important to me when I realized in the last year the need for senior housing. My mother is in a 55 and older community, and quite honestly and embarrassingly, it didn't occur to me of the need at that life stage for something that this valley had very little to offer in that way. And seeing the enjoyment that my mom has and after my dad passed and being in a community like that and being able to be close to my sisters and the value that it offered was impactful for me. And I hope that we can offer that in Snoqualmie. I love the direction the city's going. I love where the valley's headed. I hope that continues north. I just hope that you will all take the time to continue to consider and vote yes and continue to listen for more information and see what this opportunity has for the valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Ed True. True, thank you. T-R-I-O-U.
Good evening. I'm Ed and my wife Noelle. We live on the last house on this road. There's only a single road through the West Snoqualmie Heights. I would encourage you to take a trip through it. So I could talk on a number of things. I could talk on how there's a road proposed for my land and I have not been bought. I could talk about how I have 4 kids in the school district, which is why we moved here. I could talk on a number of those things, but if I put on my Microsoft Business hat for a moment and say, hey, if the goal is to have more rooftops equals better success for Snoqualmie, if the goal is to get a lot of those benefits out of it, this plan I really struggle with, because if it was really about seniors, I would expect to see affordable housing, and that's not in the plan that I'm seeing. If it was really about seniors, I would expect to see assisted living, and I'm not seeing assisted living here. I'm seeing $400,000 and $500,000 homes for 55 years and older, primarily because there's an incentive that they don't have to pay for traffic. There's an incentive that they don't have to pay for schools, that they can get away with by throwing us a pool for the YMCA, as opposed to really investing in this town. And so, even if you take the water as an example, I watched a presentation tonight where they're really hoping the city gets back water through better pipes, through finding drips, to not funding lakes. They're not investing in water. They're not investing in water. They're not investing in traffic. They're not investing in our schools. They're not bringing in clientele that would vote for our schools or that would fund our schools. and they're really not benefiting our seniors. I'm just not seeing it in the plan. Even if I were pro-business and I really wanted this to occur, I would say this is not the last developer. This isn't the first developer that's wanted to build a road through my land.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, if you could conclude your comment.
And I don't think this will be the last developer, and so I would encourage the city to actually wait for a developer that is willing to actually invest in this stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, folks, please, Paul Johnson.
Good evening. I'm Paul Johnson, and my family and I have been in the Snoqualmie Valley for 32 years, 22 years on the hillside that is part of the annexation area. I want to thank the council and the previous councils for their deliberate and careful and professional analysis of the bridge project. We watched the town go from 2,000 to 13,000 or whatever it is now, and we all worried about it, and it all came out pretty well. And that's really quite an accomplishment. But I have to oppose this annexation, and I had 3 reasons. I'll give you an abbreviated version of them for tonight. One was traffic. Kevin made a good point that I wanted to make, that there will be no improvement in 18 traffic for 5 years if it goes on schedule. Why do we have to go now? Why can't we wait 5 years? Why do we have to push this ahead when there's other projects? I'll also skip to this last point, and that is, I don't see the urgency of this project at all. In 5 years, or 10 years, or 15 years, there will still be developers falling over themselves to help out the city with developing. And finally, your constituents are Snoqualmie residents. Those of us on the hill are not your constituents. We're your friends and neighbors. But if you're thinking about your constituents, it's not Seattle developers, it's not Seattle attorneys, it's not people from the county and land speculators. I would ask you to delay this.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. If you had further comments you wanted to submit to Joe, that'd be great.
Thank you, sir.
Oh boy, I want to mangle this one. Noel Tree, thank you. And Ed's wife.
I don't have a script, but I am a mom of 4, and I have 1 in high school, 1 in middle school, and 2 at SES. We moved here over 7 years ago. We were the opposite. We want land. We want our kids to be kids. We want them to run around and play and be boys, do their sports, have families over so we have the room for them. We love the country. That's why we settled here in Snoqualmie, was because of the schools. And honestly, there's no place left in the valley that you can buy 5 acres. So what you're asking me is to give up my family dream, my home, and to move my kids potentially out of the school district that I love and that I'm heavily involved in. My daughter runs track, my boys play soccer and basketball, and they're very smart kids. They're also in academics. So you're asking me to put all that aside for a development that we weren't even approached before this even went into play. This was happening before I even had a chance to see it. So I just want you to consider that there's the opposite. People want land, they want the country living, so their families have that experience. That doesn't exist anymore. Take a look, please, and think about the families that are still on the hill, who have a road going through their property, and don't really have a say, because we don't get to vote for you guys. You have control over my land and my future. And that's all I'm asking is to consider that.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen Rockham.
There's no comment, please,
All right. Ryan Hayes.
I live in the proposed boundary, and I wasn't going to speak tonight, but one of my neighbors recently had a meeting with Mayor Larson, and it was brought to my attention that there may be an eminent domain issue when it comes to this. I was really hoping I could get a visual aid with Garrett if we got the conceptual on that too.
We don't have control.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think Brenda's gonna try and, he's trying to
I can make it
he's
really
trying to
quick.
figure out whether
Okay.
folks can listen to the going to listen to the.
That's, yeah, the one with the roads, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not really, I'm on the fence about this. I'm, you know, my family definitely stands to benefit, there's no question. But there's also an issue with certain property owners maybe not being compensated fairly.
So I'll give you a second. Frank, can you pull up the PowerPoint presentation? Oh, well, not that one. Maybe just while they're talking, pull up the map of the project again in the applicant presentation. I'm sorry, go ahead. We'll give you another 15 seconds.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, thank you.
No, then we have to be like, we can't record all these.
I'll speak loud.
No, try to record everything.
Thank you. So just to give the council and city attorney a visual, who has not signed up yet, this is my property here. This is my mother's property. This is Paul Johnson's property who spoke. The Furnesses own this property, the Trues own this property, and the Rockos own this property. None of those people have made it here.
And the tribe is on the two properties.
The tribe is here, and I believe.
Oh, right, look again, right there. That big one right there, yeah.
Right here. Okay. So, just wanted to bring that to your attention, so you understood kind of where the proposed roads are going.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hayes. Rob Watton.
Good evening, Council and Mayor Matt. I'm one of 7 members of your Economic Development Commission, and I think the concern that I have is balanced growth, and I think everybody shares in that vision. And I did some back of the envelope calculations. Currently, we have about 4% of our population that are over 65. That compares to a national average of about 12%. King County is a little bit higher than that. My calculation, if we dedicate all 800 units to over 55, it will be out of balance with the combination of over 65 population and the other underserved 4,000 people that are currently in jobs in this valley that can't afford to live here. So it comes back to the affordable housing issue as well. So balanced growth, that's the one thing that I would ask is, as we move forward, does this help meet that need? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watton. Eugene, you Enrique Gonzalez? Enrique? Please correct me. No, please correct me. Is it Enrique?
Yeah, Enrique.
Okay, let's go.
My name is Enrique Gonzalez. I live on Southeast 80th. Yeah, you know, earlier I was just listening to a lot of the folks that are here, and the more I kind of realize it is that, you know, Paul Johnson, and I grew up with, you know, in this area, like, all my life, pretty much, and I've came to realize that, you know, a lot of the people that are up on the hill, a lot of them have families that have been here for, like, you know, just generational, and, you know, and I found myself in the same situation with our family. You know, my mom bought her place, like, 15, 20 years ago. We're still there now. She's already moving on. I would love for her to stay, but realistically, even if that place was gonna be built anywhere in the area, like, I look around and everything is just overpriced everywhere. Everywhere we look. Like, just millennials can't buy anything. The senior folks can't buy anything around this area. It's, you know, how much further do you really want to push the line? And for right now, that's all I can really think of. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Angela Dvorak.
Oh my God. Thank you. Maybe I'll go this way. I'm so sorry.
And Angela, please correct me if I mangled your last name.
Dvorak. I don't have anything prepared either, but, and I'm jumping the gun, I think, here after hearing the presentation. But my concerns are basically some of the environmental impact of the development. I heard that there was not need for studies that, like they did in Issaquah and North Bend. One thing I have to say about that is that it wasn't being built right above a floodplain. And it borders along several of the waterways that go into Snoqualmie there, and I've flooded enough times to be concerned about anything being built on the hill right above me. So, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Carol Fix? No, Carol? Okay. Carolyn Simpson?
Hi, I'm Carolyn Simpson. I currently serve as the chair of the city's Economic Development Commission. I also am the president of the Snoqualmie Valley Chamber of Commerce. I serve on the school board and I serve on the Y board, and I tell you all that because in those positions I have great opportunity to speak with all sorts of people across our beautiful valley and this beautiful city. Tonight I'm not here to say, yay, let's do this, let's sign on the dotted line. We're in, the whole thing. But I'm here tonight to encourage you to continue the process. I think that there's enough here to cause us to take time to look into some of the pros and the cons, some of the opportunities and potential threats that we should explore further. And that's what I'm asking you tonight to do. I think that what I see here is an opportunity to diversify our housing base. I think it does provide an opportunity for some affordable housing. I think that it could improve our access to culture and arts, help us to retain and keep healthy our retail community and provide more of a base, as well as recreation. And I tell you this because I've actually had these conversations with our business community and our employers. I also think that by increasing and diversifying our families in our community, that the city would benefit. So I ask you tonight to take the time to explore this further, to accept the LOI, and to further along the pre-annexation process to get our questions answered with respect to transportation and water. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. Leslie Shepherd?
All right, relatively speaking, this project is massive for Snoqualmie, and I would like to see an independent third-party study done for the need and how many units exactly are needed. 800, I know, is the break-even point, so we're talking 800 to 1,200. That seems like a bit much. It increases what we have, our housing stock, by a third. So I'd like to see that study done before we jump in feet first. So number two, I've been a property owner for 25 years, and I appreciate the economic study that Eco Northwest did. I've been enduring growth for 25 years, and never once have my property taxes dropped. So I don't know why anyone can even still use that argument. I would like to see cases where property taxes have indeed dropped. Third thing, and I do not mean this as any offense, but certainly 55 and up in retirement communities do affect schools because nationwide it's been proven again, time and time again, that retirees are more likely to vote down school bond issues. I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, where not a single bond was passed in the 12 years I was in school because the young families were outnumbered. And fourthly, I want to see assurances that the property owners in the PAA will not be eminent domain, or their zoning will not be changed to increase their taxes so they're forced to sell, or they'll not have roads built down around them so they are forced to leave out of sheer misery.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd. That concludes those on the sign-up sheets.
Oh, wait a minute, I was on the sign-up sheet. I'm the last one.
Hang on, we're not quite there. Peggy Shepherd. No relation to Leslie Shepherd.
Hi, in the notice of intention to petition for annexation, the initiating parties propose that the city's mixed-use zoning designation apply to the annexation area and requests a pre-annexation zone designation to that effect. If the city council chooses to change the zoning, that will most likely cause property taxes to spike and could cause a hardship on property owners who do not wish to sell their property. For property owners, this is an action item to be considered, and I have a link to this. When property owner gets an indication that a new unwanted zoning classification is going to be imposed, the owner must present his constitutional objections to the local governing body. This requirement affords the local government an opportunity to amend the classification sought and puts them on notice of possible litigation if they do not. Failure to raise constitutional challenges may result in the property owner being barred from challenging the zoning classification. The Supreme Court has repeatedly stated that constitutional challenges to a zoning classification cannot be brought in Superior Court for the first time. They must be raised first with the local governing body. A request for information by the petitioner and the notice of intention to petition the annexation.
If you could just conclude your comment.
Okay. In the last Finance Administration meeting, it was discussed that the city has identified $54.9 million of capital needs for the city's water, sewer, and stormwater from 2017 through 2022. The estimated debt needed for that is $45.6 million, or 83%.
Maybe I was asking to summarize the comments, not, you're sort of in a new category now. I'm sorry, I gotta treat you the same as everybody else.
Okay, anyway, there's a lot of debt coming at the city, and the petitioner is wanting to know how much they should absorb of that, and so this is something that needs to be considered.
Yeah, we'll make them well aware of it. Do you have any additional comments you want to submit for the record to Jody?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Michael Lawson.
Good evening. I live at the end of 80th Street, right on the border of their proposed annexation. Something I did not appreciate tonight was the offer to invite you to annex those properties, mine and my neighbors, and modify the annexation to include those, which was a comment made earlier.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, are you in the annexation, proposed annexation area, or just outside?
I'm right on the border at the top of the...
Oh, at the top, okay, at the top of the hill there.
I have a lot of concerns, such as runoff with rooftops and pavement covering land above me, water running downhill. That's if I don't wind up part of the annexation area. But other thoughts I've got is I lived in Phoenix when Sun City was built, and that devastated school bonds for many, many years. It was a very big hardship. I'm 59. I am an active adult. I work full-time. I commute during rush hours. I plan to work for another 10 or 15 years, minimum. I like where I live. It is, and of course others have personal circumstances. Ours are, Patty and I adopted 2 children. They're both cognitively impaired, and where we live right now is their sanctuary. And I would hate to see that go away.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Ms. Walker, if you have other comments you didn't get to, please submit it.
I got chicken scratch notes, but I will write something.
That'd be great. You know that. Martina Collins.
Hello. My husband and I spent 2 years looking for a property that was rural with low traffic, trails, and a bit of property so that we could build a small farm in our forever home, which does have a master on the main. We love our close-knit community. We recently attended a bonfire with 10 neighborhood families. As you can imagine, we all discussed the possible annexation, which would be located above us. We're on Southeast 80th Street. I can tell you that all 25 of us were against the annexation. We will be affected through that road and being opened up to Snoqualmie Hills development, which would also be used by Ridge residents cutting through to downtown. There's no way this will not impact us negatively if the road goes through, as the preliminary map shows. Currently, that road cannot support the amount of traffic that would be added by this development. It would have to be widened. This would mean that either my neighbors across the road or myself will lose much of our front yards and use our land for our animals, our gardens, and our families. Also, this area is part of scenic Snoqualmie for bike riders, horse riders, walkers, and runners. I love that many of these people often stop and chat with me about my 2 adorable ducks that are permanent residents of my yard. Our community and our way of life is under direct threat from this development. I want a safe place for my children and my neighbors. I don't want to have to worry about 1,000 cars going by a day. Our population will continue to grow astronomically in the future. Maybe this is something that we should revisit in the future, depending on what is needed years down the road. If we start taking away what makes Snoqualmie unique, pretty soon we'll stop being a destination for outdoor nature enthusiasts. I feel our city as a whole has to decide real soon if we are going to succumb to the whims of the almighty developer or rein this in, enjoy the surroundings as they are. Please do not annex. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Cole. Did you complete all your comments? Did you have anything else you want to submit? Or you can submit what you have said. That'd be fine. You did just fine. Whatever you'd like to submit. All right, Quentin and Janelle McDermott, you listed, you're certainly welcome to speak independently if you want. Were you going to come up together and speak? Or? Quentin and Janelle McDermott, are they still here?
Quentin McDermott already spoke.
Okay, that's right. Okay. That is the end of that then.
Actually, can I, Stephen Walker wanted to waive his time to me, if that's okay, and not to the sign-up list.
How many others here, if I open it up to those that did not put your name on the sign-up list, would want to speak tonight, if I open that up? Just raise your hand. Okay, we did move along quite quickly, so I'll take 2 more. It's going to end right there though, folks. This is your last chance.
Thank you, Mayor Larson. Monica Lammy, I just simply want to state,
Monica, you are going to have to give us your address.
P.O. Box 193, Snoqualmie. I am all for affordable senior housing. I think we have an extremely high need for senior housing in this community and an assisted living facility. I took care of my grandmother until she passed at 95, and she was living in an assisted living facility. And I understand that a lot of our seniors that live in this community and made it what it is deserve to be here for as long as they wish. However, this project does not seem to talk very much about an assisted living community, which concerns me. The 400 units, which hopefully will be high density and small, would be wonderful for seniors. However, the 800 2,000 to 3,000 square foot 2-story homes with two-car garages do not seem to meet what we need in this community. We have a lot already. As far as traffic, which is another huge concern of mine, I agree that the expansion will be in progress. However, the widening of Highway 18 is not funded. Therefore, as long as Highway 18 is backed up, even with the new interchange, we're still going to have the same problem we have today. I would also like the impacts from the mill site expansion and the hotel and many other projects that are in the works taken into consideration. I believe traffic is a serious issue. And of course, water is a serious issue, not only needing to find new water sources, in my opinion, for this development. I do not believe we can just depend on rationing or hoping we don't have future drought years to supply the proper water we need. And also the 2 creeks, Coal Creek and Fisher Creek, that run through this property, and the roads that you're planning to put through Fisher Creek Park, which will really have a huge impact on the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, my name is Jeff Rockwell, 8115 376 Place Southeast. So I live in King County, immediately outside the annexation area. And my concern is too, as the previous speaker mentioned, I moved there so I would have a rural type of living, although I did live on Greece for 20 years, but except for that.
I was wondering where you went.
You thought you got rid of me, huh?
No.
So, number one, the rural type of living. So I'm concerned about 2 things: the traffic going through our area down to the school administration building. That would be number 1. And then number 2, if the development is put in, could some type of green belt be put in? There's a large stand of legacy fruit trees up there. Could they be maintained to create a barrier between the suburban development and our little rural enclave that still exists between the city the Indian reservation in downtown. So those are my two comments. If traffic, if those two south alignments could be somehow pushed out towards the ridge and not down through our little rural area.
Go ahead and go over there and let the council know what you're talking about, where it's at.
Well, I don't know where these go,
Oh, sorry, microphone. I'm gonna give you some of the other.
So I'm just concerned about these two roads here, and if they're going to be routed through the existing, I'm not good with street names. But if they're going to be routed to the existing kind of rural neighborhood that's down here. So if this alignment could somehow be taken out to the parkway, and I think this is really rough terrain over here, but it could be taken out towards the casino, so that this area down here is not impacted by the traffic, I think that would be very helpful. It might be a tall call, but it would be very helpful. And then also, if the green belt could be put in here.
Okay, that's what you were talking about, the green belt. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you again. I thought you moved out of the valley.
20 years, 52 years.
Okay, well, folks, that concludes all the public comments. As I stated, we need to get on with the regular city council meeting tonight. So, we're going to take a short recess for about 5 minutes to let folks that want to get on and get home and go to bed and stay up late. And we'll start in a few minutes.
Good night, Bob. Good night. I'll see you. I'm headed to that door. I gotta go to the other door.